that was written long ago about a kingdom on a mountain and the valley far below. On the mountain was a treasure buried deep beneath the stones, and the valley people swore they'd have it for their very own. Go ahead and hate your neighbor, go ahead and cheat a friend. Do it in the name of heaven, you can justify it in the end. There won't be any trumpets blowing from the judgment day, on the bloody morning after. One tin soldier ran away.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, there we are. We're here. It's Thursday, ladies and gentlemen, heard around the world. And those of you in South America as well as Southeast Asia, we want to welcome all you great guys and girls in the Marine Corps tuning in to today's show. This is a Marines Disquisition heard live around the world, and I do know it's Friday down under. Thank you very much, and I do appreciate all the hard work that Doug and Larissa are doing there in Northern Ireland, as well as in Sochi, Russia. To all my Marine buddies at Marine embassies around the world, especially those in London who are having to put up with some extraterrestrial greeting sensations from America, i.e. the President of the United States and family. I really go for you, because I was there in 1971 when Lyndon Baines Johnson was the president. And, when Lyndon Baines Johnson had died, and the daughters of then-President Richard Milhouse and Nixon came visiting, and I got news for you guys. I know exactly what you're going through with all that turmoil. To the riots, I don't know what to tell you. At least you're getting the word out that we do know about the rioting that's going on. It's still going on in Greece, still going on in Eastern Europe countries, especially there in London and around London. Nobody wants to talk about the ones up in Scotland or in Ireland, but we're getting the word out as best we can, and we do know that the news is not filtering to the United States, and that's why on Thursdays we bring forth the gentleman that I have today, Mr. Bob Chapman. As many of you commented about the website having the logo for him posted there. That's what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen. We get the word out. We've got a posted link on the website, the 3 W's, amd.el.equity, for Mr. Bob Chapman and the International Forecaster, along with a phone number. Those of you that feel led to go forth. What's going on out there around the world? Well, I'll tell you. The casino in New York is up 216. Gold is being held at $904, and the silver is being held at $12.94. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what's all this about? The man right here can tell you and answer your questions, as well as give you some insight. He does a weekly international forecaster for membership. I partake and ask you and beg you all to subscribe. It's not that expensive. It's less than a cup of coffee a day, and you get the insightful news of what's going on behind the scenes in the financial industry. And above all else, those of you in the Marine Corps and the military, those of you that are re-enlisting, you got some extra money sitting around there to invest instead of letting it sit in some bank. Just call Mr. Chapman, and he'll tell you what to do with it, and how to save it, and what you need to prepare for. Because this little hiatus that they're saying, when the recession, the depression is over with, is a bunch of hooey. And all you have to do is look at the latest news, where the former AIG CEO is criticizing his successors, saying that, well, it wasn't my fault that AIG fell. It's all the fault of you guys. It's all the fault of the government. Yet there's been 4 bailouts totaling $182 billion. How do you feel about that, Mr. Chapman? And welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for having me again. And what do I think about that? I think it is disgraceful, but there's a whole bunch of other reasons why. The AIG was the largest insurance company in the country. They were also very big in airplane leasing, which was handily used by our Central Intelligence Agency. And they also were very, very major components of the derivative business. And for those of you who don't know, derivatives are supposed to be insurance policies that people would take out based on underlying assets. I'm getting a feedback, incidentally, an echo.
Okay, we'll work on it.
And anyway, what they were doing is they were writing insurance. Let's say you owned $1 million worth of bonds, and you were afraid that General Motors was going to go under, and they were GM bonds. And so you'd buy some insurance to protect you if GM went under, which in this case might very well happen. Well, what they didn't do was hold the premiums in abeyance for a rainy day when maybe GM would go under. They just took it and put it on the bottom line and used it for something else. So they were writing naked derivatives. Very bad business. Very, very dangerous, as we found out. I think it's going to take $500 billion to bail that company out. Had the government not given them $182 billion lent, forget it. We'll never get it back. We, the taxpayers. Because of that, their insurance companies' ratings are much higher than they should be. And it's the only insurance company so far that they bailed out, although there are several others who have applied, which means they're in trouble. And I think I covered the 3 or 4 major ones that have asked for loans from the government in the issue that came out today. We publish twice a week by email, twice a month by hard copy. And it's about 35 pages each time on the email version. Anyway, they're never going to be able to bail it out. They're going to have to break it up into pieces and sell it off. The U.S. government, the American taxpayer, will take the losses. Simple as that. And it's not the province of government to go in and bail companies out, whether it's AIG or giving the money to J.P. Morgan Chase to buy out Bear Stearns, or bailing all those banks and brokerage houses that they bailed out. And so we then saw this past week the president tell the board of directors and the CEO of General Motors to resign. Now, I can find nowhere in the Constitution that allows our president to do that. It's not the province of government to seek control of business. We have a dictatorial government. We have a corporatist, fascist government. That's what they do in those kinds of governments.
Mr. Chapman, gentleman chimes in here and advises me that that Mr. Obama was not the main input. He was manipulated into bringing forth the firing of the GM president. And but you're right on. The question comes forth is that Drew made a comment about the military and re-enlistment. I would like to let the audience know that Drew has advised many of us not to re-enlist. But where can we go, Mr. Chapman? There's not any jobs in the United States. We're witnessing thousands of people being laid off, and yet, as you say, the fascist government is informing us that all is well. But I turn and look in Louisiana, and house sales are down 23%, and they're saying that's good because they were down 29% in January, and everything is going to start coming back. But both my brothers and my father have all been laid off from the GM plant in Shreveport that manufactured the S10, and now we see what's going on in Europe, and they're going to spend $1 trillion to support the economy of the rest of the world. Well, Mr. Chapman, they've spent almost $1 trillion just in the United States. I don't see anything coming forth in which to enlighten me to have a job. What do you think?